not standing up against evil, fear comes upon me. When I think about taking on the enemy and overrunning them, all I feel is victory. And it's that simple. And for people that have lost their connection to God, I feel sorry for you because it's simple. That's not just genetics or conscience or something built into us. It's spiritual. That you know when something's wrong, you know when something's right, and that's my agenda. And I have tried my best to be the most moral person I can and get this job done. I'm not perfect, though. I hear ads on the network that are not my sponsors that I can't vet or say are good, and I have major moral issues with it. But it's on our local affiliates, too. That's just part of the world. We're in the world. None of us are perfect. And I'm not trying to sit up here and preach today, but I'm just telling you about my personal journey fighting this and researching this and knowing we're losing our free will, knowing our consciousness is being shuttered, knowing people are losing their humanity all around me. And all I can say is, even though I come to you electronically, if you want to defeat the globalist, you have to turn off the phones, turn off the TVs, turn off the sports, and get away from the wireless and get out in the woods, out in the desert, out in the rural areas. And they know people just instinctively are involved in an exodus out of the cities right now. And they're trying to do everything they can to pass laws and regulations and militarize the police and militarize the BLM to really be mean and really harass folks in rural areas. But I'm telling you, everything in me tells me, get out of the city with your kids, get out now, get out now, get out now. And I sit here and I look at Black Lives Matter. The average police officer on record does have a lower rate of crime, is an honorable person, and is genuinely wanting to help people, and is one of the last vestiges of supposed male defensive prowess. And if we want to know how far we've fallen, our supposed knights in shining armor are the police and the military. And look at how screwed up they are. We're even more screwed up, folks. Look at ourselves in the mirror. And the reason bad people have gotten control of our governments and the police have been turned into instruments of oppression in some cases is because we failed. Look in the mirror. I failed. You failed. We failed. But I'll tell you something right now. The police, when you look at the hierarchy of enemies, aren't even on the list. People like George Soros and that royal family that on the Wimbledon or whatever, I saw on the news, the royal family, the prince and princess up there at the box while the UK guy won the match or whatever. I mean, and it's just all fun and cute and non-threatening. These are the people coming after your guns. These are the people shipping TB into the country. These are the people that have old ladies freezing to death in the UK because they can't get their gas allotment in the winter, while all of their hundreds of palaces for billions of pounds a year are paid for by taxpayers. Can you imagine having hundreds of palaces and letting old people freeze to death? But don't worry, you go lay wreaths at old people's graves and veterans' graves and talk about charities for old people. It's all sick. I want to get into the news on Black Lives Matter and open the phones up in the second hour, but here's what's fantastic about all this, and I mean fantastic in a bad way. This is what is completely and totally over the top fantastical. We really are watching criminal multinational corporations that have taken over our government. They're doing this to a bunch of other governments right now as well. Look right across the pond, same stuff going on. Just different groups are playing off. They really are trying to shut our energy off. They really are trying to shut our jobs off. They really are trying to shut our industry off. The globalists really are shutting down almost every facet of our civilization. They're attacking our families. They're making it almost impossible to raise our children. They are poisoning us at every level, culturally, but also chemically in the food and water, and writing White House books on how they do it, like eco-science. They're bold. They think we're that stupid. And they're trying to cause a civil war in America over 258 black people that are killed by cops every year on average, when 500 plus die a year on average in Chicago at the hands of other black people. Think about that. And you've got all the major media and the government and the Democratic Party and even some Republicans coming out and acting like, I mean, I've got the quotes from Hillary and Obama. Well, we better reform the police. Well, we better do some listening. Legitimizing some random crazy person going and shooting innocent people, and then they turn around and blame other people who have guns to defend ourselves during this degenerating society, that we collectively, the right of individuals, forget what color you are, the real discrimination is taking our rights individually and collectively to defend ourselves. And then it's Hillary Clinton who helped Bill get mandatory minimum sentencing in that has definitely been racist in a big, big way. I'm going to skip this network break. Now, before I go any further, speaking of where do we come from, what do we stand for? Because the mainstream media always makes some issue out of, oh, they sell T-shirts, they sell books, they sell horrible food, they sell shortwave radios, they sell solar systems that are excellent, by the way. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. We don't get our money like from taxpayers like NPR and then beg for money every week. Oh, we don't get it in banker bailouts like NBC and MSNBC, billions to give Rachel Maddow raises. Oh no, we just say, hey, we got good products in the marketplace, very affordable, great nutraceuticals. You might want to buy them from us and fund our operation. Oh, we're so evil. No, I'm proud of our agenda to be self-funded and to grow in the face of the enemy and to be strong so that we can stand up against their attacks. And that we've built a media platform that's growing and becoming more sophisticated and more focused by the day, driven by truth, with a great group of people that I know has providence and God's hand on it and your prayers. So when I do something, again, this is what built any civilization, something special. It's something that I believe in. When I sell storable foods, they are the best quality I can find for the lower price. You could actually probably find something that costs 4 or 5 times more that tastes better and has, better quality. But it's a nexus point, the most food for the best quality. That's what I chose for my family. That's who I went out and got as a sponsor. And then I private labeled it to go even lower, 20 to 40% off. The sale does end today. It will end. InfoWarsStore.com. 10% off on all the nutraceuticals, unless there's bigger specials like X2. That will end today as well because it is about to sell out. 10% off on everything else. 10% off if you sign up for auto ship on any of those items, and free shipping on orders of $50 or more. The Hillary for President shirts, we're going to put aircraft in the skies all 4 days of the RNC and all 4 days of the DNC. We're doing it. You're buying the shirts. At this rate, we'll be able to pay for it by the end of the Philadelphia convention. Thank you. But thank yourself, too. And I mean, in a way, don't even thank you. I mean, we're in a fight. Good. You got a shirt. We're exposing a tyrant. You're putting aircraft in the air. Thank yourself. I mean, we're in a war here. We better use money. It's the symbol of energy. It's a weapon projected at them. Because they're trying to break our will, intimidate us with political correctness, to sit down and shut up. And, oh, after the Civil War, they want to start. We better ban incendiary language by everybody because that's what caused the Great Riot of 2016 or whatever they're going to do. They've already done it in Europe. I told you they ship all the Muslims in, cause a crisis, have them start rioting and raping. That's back on the news today. And then just ban Germans and French and others having any free speech. Bottom line, it's very expensive to run this operation. I don't think people will even believe it. We couldn't even do this if we were in another state. Texas is the best when it comes to being able to run something like this. We'd be a third this size if we were in New York or LA. Couldn't even operate, basically, in those places. We don't want to operate there. So, take advantage of that sale. It ends today. There's a lot of other specials running at InfoWarsStore.com as well. You can also call toll-free and ask any questions. 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. And it is your purchases, again, that make everything we do here possible. Now, before I go any further, again, I could burrow into all this news. It's all sensational. It's all crazy. It's all really important, and we're going to do it all. But Black Lives Matter and the people that are involved in it that are pushing all of this race war garbage think that they're being bold. They think they have courage. They think they're going after the right enemy. They think they're standing up for themselves, for things they've gone through in their lives. You stand up for yourself by building your own economy and by becoming successful and by transcending oppression and racism that you've gone through, and by being a leader that transcends that. You don't become a leader or transcend it by letting the racism or the projected media narrative, the simulation, define who you are so that you're just simply part of your own racist hate group. And let's get down to brass tacks. I've been there. Our crew's been there all over the country. We've shot most of the Seminole video. The Hispanic groups that come out are the most hateful, racist, nationalistic, and I'm not saying nationalism is bad, but I'm saying they're very nationalistic, racist. It is ridiculous. The blacks are some of the most racist, out of control, hateful, entitled people I've ever seen, and just attacking and beating people. It's just an excuse for criminals to be on parade with some of the folks that think they're on some special mission. The whites are self-loathing, hateful, controlling, twisted, closet racist in most cases, who actually get off on the whole spectacle because they're not about building things. They're not about doing things. They're not about transcending. They're about virtue signaling and just kind of leading their own little social justice warrior cult. It's their form of power. They weren't taught reading, writing, or arithmetic. They weren't taught business. They weren't taught how to be charming. They weren't taught about getting into emerging markets. They weren't taught about how to be successful. They weren't taught how to innovate. They weren't taught how to organize. They weren't taught anything but being upset and being victims in the whole victim cosmology. I know people in my life that live their whole lives to be victims. And the pageantry of being the victim and making up how they're victims. And it's like they own a chateau in France or something that they can tell their friends they're a victim, and they say, oh, honey, we feel sorry for you. It's like they've been an astronaut and walked on the moon or something. It's like their possession. I'm not here exposing the globalists so you can be in victimology and feel like a victim. And people say, you're just demoralizing us. And I go, wait a minute. Oh, your perspective is as a victim. No. I'm telling you, someone's robbing your house. If I see him breaking in your back door, I live across the street, because I'm calling the police. I'm getting my gun ready, and I'm calling you because it looks like you're in the house. It's not so you can get on your back and, like a beetle and go, I'm warning you because, listen, I want you to warn me if somebody's breaking into my house. If the dam breaks up the river and there's 5 minutes till 50 feet of water hit me, and you hear it on the radio and I'm not listening to the radio, I'm out there mowing my yard, I want you to come over there and say, hey, Alex, the dam broke. Get your kids, get in the cars, get out, just get to high ground. Not because you're a hero, but because you're alive. All over the country and all over the world. But you can judge a country by how free it is, by how much people render aid. They don't just say on Facebook, give money to, some charity, but don't really give. They actually go out and really help people. And now, all over the West, you